Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Urban Assembly Virtual College Fair hosted via StriveScan. A few housekeeping items before we get started. This is a webinar. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. We do ask when you're typing questions that you indicate the institution, the school that you are asking the question to. It helps our presenters get to those a little bit easier and answer your questions. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions happening today, so be sure to sign up for more. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/urban-assembly. We have a great lineup for you today, so let me turn it over to them. We're going to kick it off with Colorado College.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen and get going. My name is Maddie Ross. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admission at Colorado College, and happy to speak with you all today. As our name implies, we are in the great state of Colorado. So we've been around since 1874. We're one of the oldest institutions in Colorado, actually before it became a state. So we like to joke that the state's named after the college, which is definitely not the case. But we're going to hold on to that. We are in a beautiful city of over 700,000 people. So we're one of the biggest cities in the United States. But what's really great is that we're not in a compact urban city. We actually are very sprawling so that students still have access to seeing, and people, of course, have access to seeing the lovely mountains that reside in Colorado. So we have a mountain called Pikes Peak, which is over 14,000 feet. Which is just really great. That's your backdrop. You're looking at this beautiful mountain for all 4 years. We're also home to the Olympic Training Center. We have 300 miles of hiking and biking trails within city limits. So we're definitely known for our recreation. And I'm assuming with Colorado, you think of snow, but what's great is that we have about 300 days of sunshine. So even though you experience all 4 seasons, it's quite a sunny place. What makes us really unique in the United States, not only are we a liberal arts and sciences institution where you have a lot of leeway to pursue academic disciplines that are of interest to you, but we also do things a bit differently at CC. So our students take class one at a time. So if you can imagine, you are all familiar with taking multiple classes at a time, right? At CC, you will never have to do that. You'll only be in one class at a time. Every class is for 3.5 weeks, and then it's done. You have a 4.5-day block break, and then you move into your next 3.5-week class. So if you can imagine only doing homework for one class, that is what we're offering you here today. And what's cool about that too is your professor's only teaching one class at a time. But what I personally think is really amazing about the block plan, as we call it, is that we have what we call field study. So 100% of our students will engage in field study before graduation, which essentially means experiential learning. So they're going out into the field, they're doing their own research, they get to participate in their learning and actually see it applied. And I think that's just really cool. Whereas if you're on a semester system, you have to, like high school, go from one class to the other throughout the week. You're taking one class at a time, professor can totally say, hey, let's actually go to spend the 3.5-week block down in New Mexico and study various Native American nations. Let's go read Shakespeare in London. That is a class that we offer. So there's really great opportunities on the block plan, and class meets from 9 to noon every day, Monday through Friday. You have your weekends off. Let's see if I can change slides today. We have stats here for you as well. So we have a little over 2,000 students. 83% of our students come from out of state or abroad. 25% of our students self-identify as students of color, 8% first-generation students. We have 160 Quest Scholars on campus. So if you're looking to apply with the Quest Bridge application, we are definitely one of those schools and very supportive of that process. 94% of our students will graduate in 4 years. For Pell eligible students, about 87% for everybody else. So it's a high percentage. Students really like CC. It's really hard to start doing one class at a time and then transition back to a semester system. So students really like the block plan. And then we're a small institution, like I mentioned. Our average class size is 16 students. So you are going to get that individualized attention from your professors, which is hopefully something you're looking for. 31% of this last class identified as students of color as well. That's the highest percentage it's ever been. We're super proud of that. And we're hoping to always make our community more representative of the United States. So we're doing a bunch of initiatives for that. I'm going to wrap up here soon. We have various support groups and systems on campus, one of which is a first-year program system. So basically all first-year students take 2 classes or 2 blocks in the beginning of their time at CC to acclimate to the block plan, because we doubt that very many people have taken the block plan before they get to CC. So you're going to be supported by professors who are going to make sure that you feel good with handling the 1 class at a time thing. So that's called the first-year program. We also have a program called the Bridge Scholars Program, which is essentially for students who identify as underrepresented, first generation, low income, where they get to come to CC before class starts and get to know other students who identify that way. And it's a really great way to set up a social system. So that's something to look out for. Like I mentioned, we have a lot of QuestBridge students on campus, and we have a bunch of opportunities for them to get together and meet with each other throughout the year. Butler Centers are a hub for diversity and inclusion on campus, and they put on a ton of programming. The Glass House is basically a residential system for students who are interested in continuing conversations about inclusivity. We have a first generation collegiate program for first gen students. We have a group specifically for men of color and another for women of color. So these are just some support systems that are on campus, but we have many more, and I am gonna run out of time. My name is Maddie again, and happy to continue the conversation. CC is a great place. Happy to work here and happy to recruit for CC. And I am going to now stop sharing and pass the baton. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have College of Staten Island.
Hi, everyone. Just give me 1 second. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessie Rodriguez. I'm the new student programs coordinator at the College of Staten Island. So in addition to talking to potential students like you guys, I also run our freshman orientation as well as a new student mentor program. So if you do decide to come to CSI, you would come through our orientation. You'd see me there, as well as our new student orientation leaders and our new student mentors who are there to help you not just within your first couple months of entering the college, but within your whole first year. So that's one of the main support systems that I always like to address at first, because again, it's my program. So in terms of getting right into it, about 75% of our students graduate debt-free and are on financial aid. So it's something to keep in mind. I always encourage students, especially not just our out-of-state, but our in-state students, especially we're located on Staten Island in New York City, and what you're looking at on the screen is our average tuition for in-state and out-of-state. I always encourage students, make sure you're applying for your federal aid, your FAFSA, and your state aid, which is your TAP, because those are the ways that you're going to be able to make this as affordable as possible. So because I can't have you guys on the campus right now and we're not there right now, I did want to include some pictures of our beautiful 204-acre campus. We're the largest continuous campus in New York City, giving us a very unique feel at a city college. So you're just looking at an aerial shot of our campus. Alumni walk. We have a beautiful 3-floor library. And leading to our student housing. So we do offer student housing for anyone who's interested. So not just out of state or out of borough. It is offered to anyone. We house just over 460 students. And if you are interested, we're actually having a Dolphin Cove session tonight. I'll be hosting that as well. So I could put that link up in the chat after this. So right now with COVID restrictions, we have just over 300 students living in our apartment style housing. It is beautiful and great opportunity if you have the chance to live on our campus. So kind of jumping into our what we have to offer in terms of academics, we have 5 different academic divisions, which each house different majors, an array of different majors. So I'm going to go through the quick and explain some parts of it. So we have the Division of Humanities and Social Sciences. It has one of the largest variants in majors, from everything from English all the way down to the languages, and 2 different types of psychology. Division of Science and Technology, which actually houses, if you're interested in pre-med, houses our pre-med program. We have the School of Health Sciences, which is our physical therapy, nursing, and social work program. And the Lucille and J. Chasanoff School of Business, which just recently received a brand new space within one of their buildings. So we're really excited to see everything that the school is doing. And finally, School of Education. So if you are interested, especially being a New York City DOE teacher, we'll help you through everything from getting your degree, both of your bachelor's and your master's, and getting certified. So we do have multiple honors programs at the College of Staten Island. So we have the Macaulay, the Verrazano, and Teja. Of those, if you guys have any questions or are interested, I can email you directly some full information on the programs. And getting to our opportunity programs at CSI. So in addition to SEEK and ASAP, we also have BMI as well as C-STEP and STEP programs. So just kind of really talking about ASAP and SEEK. SEEK is a program for students that are financially at need, as well as may not have done too great in high school. Whereas ASAP really doesn't focus too much on the financials. If you don't need any financial aid, but you do need some extra support, ASAP's a great program. Our ASAP at CSI follows you through from all the way through your associates to your bachelor's. So we're a little unique in that sense, where some of the other ASAP programs are only for your 2-year degree. And that kind of leads into CSI is a comprehensive college. So we offer everything from base certificates all the way through doctoral degrees. So as a senior college, we do have the opportunity for students to receive their associates first and kind of get ready to get through to that bachelor's degree. And ASAP will follow you through in the benefits. So both ASAP and SEEK provide financial help, as well as stipends for students for books. And ASAP offers either a limited Metro card or a parking decal for our campus. Both programs do require you to meet with your advisors once a month, just to kind of check in and see where it is. They also offer peer tutoring, peer mentor support, and help throughout your entire career. SEEK also offers a grant for students that do want to continue on to graduate degrees for eligible institutions. So we are a D2 school. We just went D2 about 2 years ago, which is super exciting for us. So if you are a student athlete and you are interested in playing for us, please reach out to me and I'll provide you with the information to be recruited by us. I think they are playing right now. We were in terms of the CUNYAC, we were top champions, which is what led us to becoming D2. We have a thriving student life over at CSI, which is diverse and fantastic in everything that they do. And just base applying, how do I apply CSI? You're going to use the CUNY application. Our applications are due February 1st every year. If you haven't applied and you're interested in coming to CSI for this coming fall semester, you can still apply and reach out to me and I'll give you the direct link. So with that, I will pass it off.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have SUNY Cortland.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen Wingard. I am a senior advisor here at SUNY Cortland. I am also the New York City advisor, as well as EOP coordinator here in our office. So glad to be here talking with you. A couple things about the college. First is our size. So Cortland, being a SUNY institution, we are a university college, which means we're going to be offering and really working with you on that bachelor's level degree in experience, as well as we're medium sized. So our total enrollment is about 6,800 students. I would say we're probably around 6,200 with our undergraduate students. Last year, we brought in about 1,300 freshmen, first year students, and about 530 transfers. So you can see we're bringing in a vibrant class every single fall, about 1,800 new faces on our campus every year. Classes are about 23 students per class, and student faculty ratio is about 16:1. It kind of gets coined as the best of both worlds on our campus, to where you get about 6,800, close to 7,000 different people to interact with socially, but academically, you bring it back to a school similar to a school a lot smaller than what we are, at 23 students per class. Probably have more students than that in high school right now. And we like to think, and a lot of people on our campus like to think, that that smaller class size acts as a more conducive learning environment. You get to know your professors a little bit better, as well as your classmates. In terms of where we're located, we are about, I would say, 4 hours from New York City. It's an easy drive. Once you get out of a borough, it's a straight shot to our campus. We are centrally located in central New York, about 20 to 45 minutes from Syracuse, Ithaca, and Binghamton. So Cortland is a rural college town. That doesn't mean there's not a lot of things to do here. There are a lot of activities. There's restaurants and shops, shopping districts. But if you're looking for that more urban city feel, you have it in those three very close proximity cities. We're #1 ranked for campus safety in the state of New York. We're very proud of that. That's something that a lot of parents also like to consider one of the top reasons why they choose our school. And, you know, we have a lot of measures for that. Blue light system, a full-time university police department, as well as card access to our residence halls and surveillance monitoring throughout the entire campus. We're very diverse. We're represented by every county within New York State. So geographic diversity is a big thing for us. 33 states and also 54 different countries are represented. And we've added a lot to our, not only our campus, but our area with a $10 million New York State grant award that helped revitalize just the surrounding area for Cortland. So I mentioned there are a lot of things to do, you know, close to 100 clubs and organizations here. You know, we have 15 fraternities and sororities on our campus, as well as every academic major has a club or organization. So if you're really just passionate about your program, there's a club for you. But also a lot more special interest ones that revolve around arts, culture, religion, maybe service. If you want to give back to your community, there's a Habitat for Humanity where you would build houses for low impoverished families in the Cortland County area. But again, you can check out more of that while you're on our campus, but as well as on our website at cortland.edu/clubs. Living on campus, you would have to live on campus for at least the first 2 years as an incoming student. As a transfer student, you'd only have to live on the campus for 1 year. So if you decided to come to us later, that'd be an option for you. And we have about half of our student body living on campus. So again, a little bit over 6,000 students here, undergraduates, so about 3,300 live in one of our 17 different residence halls. And you can see an aerial shot of what some of our residence halls look like, as well as what our suites may look like on the inside. We have 10 dining facilities, so a lot of different eateries. We have an all-you-care-to-eat meal plan, meaning eat as much as you want, whenever you want. They open up at 6 a.m., close at midnight. But then we also have a lot of a la carte stations like Union Station, where you can grab a bagel or a coffee, Greens and Grains, where you can grab a healthy salad. And we use dining dollars for those. So on top of the all-you-care-to-eat meal plan, you also have almost like a debit card that allows you to eat on and off campus at your leisure. We've invested $250 million into our campus over the last decade. One of the main highlights of that investment is our Student Life Center. It's a $65 million state-of-the-art health and wellness workout facility. It has 2 floors of workout stations, an indoor pool and jacuzzi spa, as well as an indoor track, a rock climbing wall. There's also trainers within that facility. So they conduct classes, but also they can do personal training for any student that's looking to maybe reach a certain goal. Academically, you know, we have 3 different schools across the college. Collectively, you can see all 68 different majors that are within those 3 schools. I'll highlight a couple, but this is certainly something that can be discussed in a chat or later on personally. We're a large teacher certification program school. We started out as a teacher's college when we first opened our doors. So anything from the education perspective, you can obtain that degree at Cortland, and we'd assist you getting certified within New York State. Everything from adolescent education, teaching 7th through 12th grade, all the way down to physical education. We also have a very robust and highly ranked sport management program that has concentration areas in sports law, sports marketing, international sports management, informational technology, and athletic administration. We also have an exercise science program. So students that may be looking at going into athletic training, fitness development, physical therapy, that's a great program that'll set you up for a graduate degree later on. And there's a lot of hands-on learning. We have a lot of students who go on and get their graduate work done at SUNY Upstate Medical, which is about 30 minutes away in Syracuse. We have a criminology program, psychology program that round out our top 5. But I would encourage you to go to our website and kind of find out a little bit more about those programs. In terms of criteria, what are we going to be looking for? As a New York State graduate, you're going to have 4 years of English and social studies. We also are looking for at least 3 years of math, science, and foreign language. Our average student is somewhere in the B range. So if you have an 86 to a 92 on weighted GPA, 3.0 to 3.4, or even about a B minus to a B plus, I would feel very comfortable. That doesn't mean we don't accept students who are higher or lower. That's just kind of where our median falls. If you are someone who may have a lot of potential, but need a little bit more academic preparation and assistance, we have a great EOP program, which I mentioned I am the coordinator for. So that's something that we can discuss at a later time. In terms of total cost with billed and non-billed expenses, Cortland's about $25,000 for our in-state
Carmen,
students.
we do have to move on to Hobart and William Smith colleges. So if you want to,
Sure.
if you can put some information in the chat for folks in attendance, that would be great. But we
Absolutely.
do have to keep to time and move on to our next presenter. So Hobart and William Smith colleges, you're up.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen here. Hopefully I'm going to do it the right way. Oh, wait, hold on. So first of all, let me start by introducing myself. My name is John Sebastian. I am one of the senior assistant directors for admissions over at Hobart and William Smith colleges. I'm also the director for diversity recruitment and initiatives as well. I'm going to share my screen here now and hopefully it will work. So Hobart and William Smith colleges is located in the city of Geneva, which sits right on Seneca Lake, which is one of the 11 Finger Lakes in the New York State region, for those of you who don't know anything about Hobart and William Smith. We are one of the few colleges that operate off what we have a coordinate heritage. So Hobart and William Smith was actually founded as two separate colleges. Hobart College was founded in 1822 and William Smith Colleges in 1908 for men and women. In the late 60s and early 70s, they decided to merge the colleges, and now we are known as Hobart and William Smith Colleges. As a small liberal arts institution, we house just over 2,000 students, and our students come from all states across the United States and also from 30 plus countries across the world. So like I said before, we are a small liberal arts college, and so the student faculty ratio at HWS is about 9 or 10 to 1 with an average class size of about 16 students. So if you're looking for that small, intimate learning environment, then HWS is definitely the place for you. Even though we are small, we offer about 45 majors and 68 minors, ranging from Africana studies to writing and rhetoric. So there's no shortage of subjects to study at HWS. So we only have one required course at HWS, and that is our first year seminar. And the first year seminar is really your introduction into HWS and the rigors of an HWS education. The three main focuses of the first year seminar is for you to develop some critical thinking and communication skills, understanding the college's ethical values and intellectual values, but most importantly for you to establish a network a network with your peers and mentors, with also staff as well. So here at HWS, the community experience, even though we are small, is very, very huge. We have a very, very robust study abroad program, which is around number 9 in the nation currently. We're number 2 in the country for community service. We currently have about 23 national championships, and we house over 100 student clubs and organizations ranging from alpine skiing all the way to the Young Democrats of America. So you've spent 4 years at HWS, and now what does that look like after your time at HWS into the world of work? So here's where our career center, which we are very, very proud of, this is where they step in. HWS guarantees you an internship or research experience once you meet certain requirements for the Salisbury Center. And once you meet those requirements, that internship or research experience is guaranteed to you. Here you will see a couple of the companies that we have or currently have relationships with that we send off our students to. So places like ABC News, NASA, Lockheed Martin, and the New York Stock Exchange. The Salisbury Center also offers their Pathways program, which mimics your 4 years at HWS. Just gives you assessments and gives you, most importantly, the tools that you will need to find work after HWS. And if grad school is something that is of interest to you, we will definitely help you around that process as well. So we have 3 rounds of the application process. There's early decision 1, early decision 2, which are binding contracts to the colleges, and then regular decisions. Required documents for the application process, your Common App or Coalition app, and we're free on those. Your school report, counselor recommendation, teacher recommendations, and transcripts. Admission interviews are not recommended at are not required at HWS, but definitely recommended. We also have something called HWS Choice for those students who may or may not want to submit their scores. their standardized test scores, we just say, if you want to submit them, and as the admissions counselors, we will see if they will actually hurt or help your application. And if they'll help your application, we will use them. If we don't think that they will help your application, we will not use them. In terms of financial aid, your FAFSA forms, any student looking for institutional need will complete the CSS profile. And we also offer the HEOP program at HWS. So here you will see a few of the requirements or things that we look at for HEOP student in terms of SAT score, high school average, Regents average, and just your general, tenacity to learn. You'll also see the program guidelines here as well in terms of finances. So what are we looking at for your application? So things like your academic rigor, the types of classes that you're taking, standardized test scores, optional, your extracurricular activities, your recommendations, and just your level of interest in events such as these, our virtual high school tours, our college fairs, virtual interviews, open houses, and stuff like that. So here you will see my information. Feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Mount Holyoke College.
Thank you so much. Excellent. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Aria Lawson. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm an assistant director of admission and the coordinator of multicultural recruitment at Mount Holyoke College. So a little bit about us, right? We are a small liberal arts college in Western Massachusetts. So we're about 3 hours from New York City. You can see that here in the little graphic, easily accessible by Amtrak train or Peter Pan bus that picks up right outside of the campus. So pretty accessible. We have a campus of about 2,200 students coming from about 48 different states and 61 countries. And so we are incredibly diverse, not only in where our students are coming from around the country, but of course around the world. And I'd like to think, about of our class, of our first year class of 550 students, about 480 high schools are represented. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of what our students, how they were raised, where they're coming from, what they believe in, and what they're interested in. And that's reflected in how we support our students when they're on campus. So you can see we have 48 different majors. About a third of our students do choose to double major, and there's an incredible amount of support for doing just that. So you would have a number of faculty there to support you, to help figure out what does it look like to double major, what does it look like to choose only one major, but maybe have be really passionate about a minor. And so that's why our 9-to-1 student teacher ratio is really important, right? Because you want to have that close access. You want to be able to engage directly with faculty mentors and have that support throughout your 4 years. And so another important fact about us is that we're a gender diverse women's college. And so our students are incredibly powerful, right? And are maybe also don't just identify as women, but might identify as non-binary or trans. And so that's where the diversity in the gender diversity women's college comes from. But at the very sort of foundation of who we are, right? The value of creating a space for folks who have been historically marginalized in higher education, right? In the 1800s, there were not a lot of colleges that were allowing women. And so what does it look like now to really create a space where your voice is prioritized as a woman, right? And so I like to include this really important statistic. There are so many statistics out there, but this is one that is really stands in stark contrast to sort of what exists in the world. So just 2% of the women who will graduate from college will be graduates of women's colleges. But when you think about sort of in the broader context, 20% of women in US Congress graduated from a women's college, and 30% of Business Week's list of rising women. So just thinking about, right, that small 2% is actually a mighty number. And so thinking about what is the legacy that you're going to be joining as you go to college, as you matriculate to college. And here's just a powerful quote from one of our alums, Danny, who says that everyone here is working towards something they are passionate about. Students are engaged, critical thinkers who are not afraid to express themselves and their beliefs. So there's no one right track. There's no one right way to be at Mount Holyoke College. We sort of encourage you to be your expressive self, be your expansive self, and allow however you show up in the world to really be fulfilled and empowered at a place like Mount Holyoke. I'll also mention that not only do we stand alone as a really powerful institution, but we have really unique partnership and called the 5 College Consortium. A lot of women's colleges have this opportunity as well. A lot of other institutions have this opportunity maybe to take a few classes to do some work. But here in the 5 colleges, we work really closely with these other institutions. So you can see on the top level, Amherst and Hampshire colleges, both small liberal arts colleges, a little bit smaller than Mount Holyoke. Smith College is another gender diverse women's college. And then the University of Massachusetts at Amherst is a large flagship university, which has about 30,000 undergraduates. So across all of the colleges, our students can take classes off campus. They can make use of the library. They can work off campus. They can participate in lab research as well as join other clubs and organizations, and all accessible by free transportation. So it doesn't cost a thing. Even as a staff member, I can hop on the bus and go on over to a different campus to work in their library or to connect with one of my colleagues at a different institution. So this relationship really allows students to have even more of an opportunity to get involved in research, to do everything that they want to do at just more institutions. And I just want to finish up by mentioning some of the resources that we have for success, right? There's so many resources that sometimes it can be really overwhelming to figure out, okay, I know something is there, but how do I even get there? So to really begin with, right, academics, that's why you're in college. But sometimes when you're transitioning from high school or just figuring out what does it look like to figure out, to have suddenly freedom to study what you want to study, we have support systems there. So we do have academic advising, and those come in the form of peer mentors, but also your academic dean and your first year advisor. So from the very beginning, you have all of these support systems that are there to help you figure out what do you want to major in and how might that flow into a career. And so we do as well have a career development center. And this picture here to the right is actually of our little section in Career Development Center called Suit Yourself. And this is where students can go pop in, borrow a blazer, borrow a briefcase. You can practice your interview sort of patterns in the Career Development Center as well, and get support with your resume building too. So there's a lot of support there. And then the Speaking, Arguing, and Writing Center is just one of many examples of peers being there to support you in your academic journey. So folks who are there who can help you proofread your essay, figure out what you want your thesis to be, figure out how do you even start that essay. So there's a lot of support there as well. And then of course, right, you are more than your academics. So there's also a lot of opportunity for community building. And I've listed some examples there, but I do hope you put some questions in the Q&A feature and get to know us a little bit more at our website. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. And next up, SUNY Potsdam.
Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen real quick. My name is Rafael. I am an alumni of Potsdam. I graduated in 2019, and then with my master's in business in 2020, just last year. I am currently an admissions counselor, and I recruit students from Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, but I do oversee New York City as a whole. So any questions about being a student from the city going away to Potsdam are more than welcome. Potsdam is about 5.5 hours from the city, but definitely accessible. So trust me coming from the Bronx, I can help you with that transition and answering any questions. So to start, if you've never heard of Potsdam before, we're just gonna start with some history and facts. We're the smallest and we're the oldest 4-year college in the SUNY system. We have been around for a little bit over 200 years. So again, it's cool that the whole idea of being the first 4-year SUNY. We have about 3,500 students. We're considered a small school. And we also have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And again, what that means is that you're gonna get a lot of personalized individual attention from your professors, from your faculty, and from your peers as well. We're #1 rated food in the SUNY system. So out of all 64 SUNY campuses, our food is the best, and we have been ranked #1 for the last 6 years. And I can attest to that. Me coming from the city, me being Dominican and going away for college, and I was scared of the food I was gonna eat, but trust me, Potsdam does a great job at making sure that your food needs are met. At the same time, we have 9 different dining areas where many other schools only have 1 or 2. We have over 400 fine arts events and performances a year. So if you're interested in theater, dance, music, painting, drawing, ceramics, all those, anything arts related, you can either major in it or you can just do it for fun on the side. You can take classes. We're one of the 3 arts designated campuses in SUNY as well. We have 18 intercollegiate sports team, actually. We just added men's volleyball just 2 years ago. So it's pretty cool. We have four colleges within a 10-mile radius. And the reason this is important is because you can take free classes at any of those colleges just for being a SUNY Potsdam student. So that's a cool deal. We're located just outside of the Adirondack Mountains. Again, we're directly upstate in New York City, in New York. So we're surrounded by nature. And again, the town, there's a lot to do in the town, but also the nature side of it is amazing. You can kayak, you can snow tube, you can snowboard, all the things that you don't get to do often in the city. When it comes to academic opportunities, we have over 50 majors that you can choose from. You can double major, triple major, you can change your major anytime. We have 60 minors as well. Out of the three schools, the one that I will talk a little bit more about is the Cortland School of Music, which is one of the top 10 music education colleges in the country. So if you're interested in music education, music production, music business, music performance, the Cortland School of Music is a great school for you to go about your music endeavors. Lastly, we have, again, a lot of resources for students. We have a whole office and department called the Lohit Center for Applied Learning. And that's where you will be able to find the internship office, the career office, the study abroad office, as well as the career services office. You will always get help no matter what, which is great. And talking about help, we also have the Student Success Center, which is another building that is there for your success while in Potsdam. So that will help you with accommodative services. So if you need more time in your test, or you need somebody to take notes for you because the professor goes too fast, we'll find somebody for you to make sure that you do well in the class. We have advising, we have tutoring available. We also have a counseling center because we also believe that mental health is important on campus. When it comes to campus involvement, again, you're going away to school, so you want to make sure that you're always doing something. We have over 100 clubs and organizations that you can choose from, and if you don't see one that if you don't see one that you want, you can start it yourself. We also have, again, a climbing wall. We have an ice arena. If you like ice skating, we have an indoor pool, and we also have a state-of-the-art fitness center. So if you want to stay fit on campus and you don't want to fall under freshman 15, trust me, that will be very possible. When it comes to applying to SUNY Potsdam, it's very simple. You only need 4 things. You need an application, either the SUNY app or the Common App. We're rolling admissions, which means you can apply as late or as early as you would like. We need a high school transcript, we need an essay, and we need a letter of recommendation. As you can see, we do not look for SATs or ACT scores. We have been test optional for the last 10 years. And I know it's weird this year because all SUNYs were test optional, but I am sure that some of them will go back to normal next year. We will continue to be test optional, so you don't have to worry about submitting those if you don't do so well in them. Lastly, when it comes to financial aid, we cost about $22,000 a year. The way to afford that is, again, applying to FAFSA and applying to TAP. As well as applying to our merit-based scholarships, which, even though we're rolling admissions, I will suggest that you apply before February 15th because that's when the deadline for the scholarship is. But again, if you're not interested in the scholarship, you can apply as late as you would like. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And at this stage, we do have some time for our round robin set of questions. So I'm going to ask all of the presenters to join me back on camera. And we are going to start in the order of which you all presented. So starting with Colorado College, if you would share with folks, what is one piece of advice you would give someone going through the college search process?
I think there's a lot of anxiety with COVID-19, clearly. I think that's totally reasonable. And I get a lot of questions about like how college reps will receive maybe lower grades or if extracurricular activities were halted because of the pandemic. And I always just tell students that we're super empathetic of what they've gone through because we've gone through it ourselves. And to provide us additional context in the additional information section, I think is always helpful because if we see a dip in grades without explanation, it's going to be hard for us to figure out on our own what happened, although we could probably make an assumption, but nice to get that detail in the additional information section. There's also a COVID-19 question on the Common App, so feel free to include you know, how the pandemic has affected you and your family at the individual level, because we'd like to know that context, because it's different for everybody. So that would be my advice. Provide us some context so we have that when we're reviewing your file.
Thank you. College of Staten Island.
Definitely make sure that you're doing your research. That's something that I stress to all students. Make sure that you're picking a school that not only fits your major and maybe your dream school, but also fits in terms of finances. Because I know that was something that I had to think of when I went to school. So I am a College of Staten Island grad. I chose to go there because of finances. My family couldn't afford to send me to school. And I knew that I was going to have the support there that I needed. So make sure you're really doing that research, and you're not just listening to what we're saying, you're really going through everything and doing your due diligence. And also, talk to students. If you have the opportunity, talk to students that go to that school, hear what they have to say, because, I can tell you every amazing thing about CSI, but I may not be speaking from my current student's perspective. And I have a lot of students that work with us, and I encourage all of everyone that I meet through this process to talk with them. And also getting in that application as quickly as you can. I can't stress that enough, especially for our institution. We are through the CUNY app. But the earlier you get that application in, the earlier we really can send you an acceptance letter, and the earlier you can register for your classes, really. So that's my piece of advice.
Thank you. SUNY Cortland.
Thank you. I would encourage students, I know there's a lot surrounding COVID, and some families may be apprehensive to actually go visit, but I think that you have to do your due diligence and really get a good feel for the campus and the culture. So at whatever measure you need to take, whether it be continuing with the virtual events, maybe logging on and going to student panels. But to be honest, nothing beats setting foot on a college campus, because there's only so much that an advisor or a website can give you. So going into next year, once you make your short list, do whatever you need to do to try and experience that campus for what it's worth. Talk with students, see it for yourself, understand the distance, and just get a good feel if that campus really resonates with you moving forward.
Hobart and William Smith colleges.
I echo everything that my fellow admissions counselors would have already said. I say, if you any kind of information in your application that you think might be pertinent to your to getting your application on our eyes and in that admitted box, I would say just put it in there. I would rather have too much information to read than not enough information to read. I'm an admissions counselor, I'm not a rejections counselor. So anything that I tell you, or any of your admissions, these other admissions counselors will tell you, follow it to the letter. It will really only help your application. I will also say, from a, I guess from a holistic standpoint, thinking about campus safety, thinking about the clubs and organizations that are on campus, and all really just finding yourself, because college and university time is a time for you to find yourself, and not only for you to learn from other people, but for you to teach people as well, both in and out of the classroom. So just finding that space that is comfortable for you. I don't think any admissions counselor here would sell you something that they didn't think was a good experience for you. And I think that's what we do at HWS as well, just making sure that we're giving you as much information as we can for you to make the best informed decision.
Mount Holyoke College.
Thanks so much. I just want to build off what John Sebastian said, right? This is an experience for you. And so really put yourself first, right? Not your parents, not your peers, not your college counselors. This is about you and about where you might spend your college experience. So be really intentional and know that we value you. We can't do our jobs without you. So just know how much power you do have and how much control you do have in this situation, and really own that, and always, always ask for support. Ask for our support. No question is too small. We work all through the summer. So we're happy to take emails and phone calls and really want to support you throughout this process.
SUNY Potsdam.
This is not necessarily a college search process, but definitely a college application process advice, and fill out your FAFSA. As soon as the FAFSA opens up, do it, because as soon as you make your list of the colleges that you want to attend, and once you apply to them, the next thing will be to see financials, to see if you can afford it. So do FAFSA, and as soon as you do FAFSA and you get accepted to your colleges, you will be able to get that award letter and you will be able to make the best decisions for yourself. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I first and foremost want to thank our wonderful presenters. This is a busy week with May 1 decision deadline coming up. So I wish you all the best of luck and hang in there the rest of this week. And thank you for tuning in and joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. This is just one of many sessions happening today. So be sure to go and sign up for more. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at strivescan.com/urban assembly. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.